So today we start reading the book of Deuteronomy, and this is the fifth and the final book of what is called the Pentateuch, or the Torah, just the books of the law that we come across in the Old Testament. And it's called Pentateuch. Pent means five. This is book number 5. And so one of the things that's going to happen is we're going to read some of the stuff that we've read before. This is one way of translating the word Deuteronomy is second law. It's like we're reading the law, but we're reading it again. And the way in which it's presented is it's Moses giving a really long talk. So you might notice the first few words of the book are, "These are the words Moses spoke." So this is effectively, it's like reading a really long sermon. Moses gives this massive talk, and the context is told just by the chapters that we've just read. The story is, God promises Abraham, I'm going to give you the land of Canaan to your descendants. You're going to have loads of kids. It's going to be seriously great. And Abraham's descendants end up in Egypt, the Israelites. God then rescues them from Egypt and takes them into the wilderness. He then takes them to the border of the promised land after 2 years in the wilderness and says, go and, take your inheritance. And the Israelites become really scared, so they don't. And we read about that, if you remember, in Numbers chapters 13 and 14. They rebel against God and they say, no, we're too afraid. And so God becomes angry. And it's like, these are the people that saw him do all the miracles in Egypt, where the plagues happened, the Red Sea parted, all the incredible stuff with manna and water in the wilderness. And they still doubted him. So he responds with anger. And he says, okay, well, if you don't trust me, what's going to happen is I'm going to basically take the next generation in. So this generation is going to die here in the wilderness, and the next generation is going to come. So that generation then wander around for 38 years, and you can read Moses' kind of like account of that. And then eventually they all die, and this new generation are the ones that are about to enter the promised land. So even Moses isn't going to go into the promised land. The only two people that are from that generation will be Caleb and Joshua, who is Moses' assistant and the next leader of Israel. So this is a big talk that they give just before they invade the promised land. I'm saying all of that just to set the context for the rest of the book that we're going to be reading for the next little while. If there's a lesson for us to be learning from it, I think it's the importance of trusting God. Often we doubt God, and it's okay to doubt. Let's not be afraid of having questions. But also what we want to do is we want to choose to trust him and grow in trust of the Lord. And the reason the Israelites messed up so much is because for all that they'd seen God do, they still didn't trust him for today. Do we trust God for this day, for now, for the moment that we're in? And if we don't, why not spend some time reflecting on all the ways he's been trustworthy up until this point, not just for us in our own personal walk, but in the Bible to all the people he meets here, or who meet him. If we see his trustworthiness throughout history, then we're much more likely to trust him throughout today.